Film doesn't lie. Andre Ward versus Chad Dawson. We are at round 3. If you like the other 2 rounds, so I have 2 other videos, round 1 and round 2. If you like those videos, subscribe so I know you like the video, but also like the video and comment so I know this is more stuff that you guys like to help you out, because that's what I'm here for. I enjoy doing these things, but I mean, you can't just sit at home and enjoy these things. I want to teach people, right? So once again, subscribe if you like the other 2 videos, like if you like the other 2 videos, comment if you have some critiques of stuff you want to see more, but this allows me to understand that this is more stuff you guys want to see. So round 3 is going to get a little bit spicy. I've watched this fight before, so I know round 3 is when the fun stuff happens according to what the common fan says is fun, which is knockdowns. Spoiler alert.
All right, Ralphie.
Here's another tidbit for you, right? I'm not the best coach ever. I'm not the smartest coach ever. But what I did is I used the resources to get as good as I can get, and how I'm going to continue to do so. So all these coaches that came before us that didn't have access to YouTube, didn't have access to film study, how they got good at stuff is I mean, testament to God. However, if you are a coach or you're a fighter, my suggestion is go back, watch the old HBO fights, watch all the fights where they actually allowed you to hear what was being said in the corner, so you can hear the adjustments that coaches are making, how fighters speak to their coaches, all that information, because that's a lot of information to be able to have access to.
Keep that hand up. Listen, that uppercut. Now listen. He's gonna look downstairs and he's gonna go over the top of the right hand. Okay? All right, you got it. Keep your left hand up and you're good. On the inside.
So what is Dawson's coach saying? And I don't know Chad Dawson's coach's name. I should probably research that a little bit later. If you guys know what his name is, comment below. But what he says is about Andre Ward is that Andre Ward is going to look low and come up with the right hand over the top. For those of you who have been fighting for a little bit longer, and for those of you who haven't, as far as from an explanation standpoint, Andre Ward does a good job of stabbing to the body. Floyd Mayweather does a good job of stabbing to the body as well. Your coaches may have told you the importance of stabbing to the body, but anybody who has had their coach tell them the importance and the benefit of stabbing to the body, what they also tell them is that the next thing after stabbing to the body is you can come upstairs with the shot. A couple fights you can go back on regarding this is Inoue versus Stevie Fulton. Those are some close ones to remember. I mentioned Floyd. You can look at Floyd versus Diego Corrales and what he does after he stabs to the body as far as coming upstairs with the right hand and then also left hook, right? So what Dawson's coach is letting him know is, okay, well, Ward's been stabbing to the body, or he's been dropping low, changing positions to a low position. He's looking to come up over the top with something to get you, so be wary of that.
There's a lot of pushing, right? Let's start just like with the body, with the body shots. You get it, with the body shots. With the body shots, okay? On the inside, as long as you're there, you got to make him pay for something, all right? Make him not want to be there so he can get out, and then you just control it with your jab, all right? Deep breath, catch it. Look at it, you're looking.
Another tidbit, and I may be reading more into this, but this is kind of like the knowledge and wisdom that I picked up from watching videos or learning it from others, applying it. And realistically, when you apply something, you are learning from somebody else. You're either learning from yourself or you're learning from whoever you're applying this to, right? So with that being said, what his coach also tells him is make him pay for being there, right? Make him not want to be there. Anybody who boxes, well, I'm not going to say anybody because I don't know everyone, but for those of you who have boxed and have been punched in the face, answer this question for me. Did you like it? If the answer is no, you probably did something to make sure it didn't happen again. And so that's why you make somebody pay. That's why you want somebody, that's how you now make sure somebody doesn't want to be there. Because if they're somewhere where they keep getting hit in the face or they keep having to be punished for something, their job is to go ahead and now make the change so that doesn't continue to happen. So that's what his coach means by that. The best way to have somebody stop punching you is make them pay for punching you.
really strong, but you still got to be loose, okay?
Here's where the headbutt may have occurred, because after this that little rubbing of Ward's head against Dawson's right eyebrow, you saw red appear right afterwards, nothing before that. Doesn't seem to take much.
Triple jab. We back to talking about engagements and back to how this works, right? So Andre Ward is going to get in with the triple jab. And it's hard to see on film, so this is where we add application, we add wisdom, which is the application of knowledge. Understanding that all three of these jabs from Andre Ward, they're not, hey, I'm trying to knock this guy out, right? And the reason that is because when you actually try to knock someone out, that is you committing to a punch. And if you commit to a punch, you have to finish that commitment before you can do something else. So if I shoot 3 jabs at somebody and I commit on all of them, that is 3 opportunities, well, technically 6, before 9, before, during, and after each one of those jabs for me to be hit. And 3 punches is a lot of variables to have to worry about getting hit back with.
Eyebrow, you saw
Paw, control the space, touch Chad Dawson's lead hand.
red appear right
Touch again.
afterwards
Fake touch again.
against Dawson's right eyebrow.
So, and I'm sorry because these film studies are going to be long, so it is what it is. But we're missing out on some information.
That little rubbing of Ward's head against Dawson's right
All right, so first touch,
eyebrow.
second touch. And if you notice, as he touched off that second one, he backed up a little bit.
You saw
Third touch,
red appear. You're right.
disengage. First
Afterwards,
touch, fake the second touch, get your jab off. All that he's doing is trying to distract his opponent from understanding when he's going to punch. Because if he can distract his opponent from understanding when he's going to punch, he doesn't have to pay for punching his opponent. Like Chad Dawson's coach said, this is the way that Andre Ward makes sure that Chad Dawson doesn't make him pay for hitting him. Which means this is a way that Andre Ward can hit Chad Dawson without having to pay for hitting Chad Dawson.
nothing before that. Doesn't seem.
Now, the jab is not going to be enough to knock your opponent out. It is enough to win a fight. And so because of that, that's how the jab opens up doors for a lot of other things. Because your opponent understands that if I'm not hitting you back, the jab is going to win this fight. So I have to do something to make you pay for jabbing me. Which now, if you jab without committing, you can see what your opponent is trying to do to stop from getting jabbed, which is now opening themselves up. Possibly.
Take much. You watch Chad Dawson between rounds in the corner.
Those are a form of feints, because we talked about this before. Feints are just a way for you to ask your opponent a question without the risk of throwing a punch as you do it, because you're most vulnerable when you throw punches. So if I can feint and act as if I'm throwing a punch without throwing a punch, I don't take a bigger risk. And that's the reason why you have to act as if whatever question you ask is going to happen. So you have to know what question you're asking. So there's feints with your hands, there's feint with your head, there's feint with your feet. There's feints with starting the engagement. So Ward is going to have a mix of doing this with his feet and with his head.
Where before that. Doesn't seem to take much. You watch Chad Dawson between rounds in the corner.
So he feints a couple shots and then finally throws one. Dawson is prepared for that because we talk about this once again. Dawson's a pro. So he has countless rounds over him. So even if you don't think he has a high IQ, he has a lot of reps, right? So Ward is already prepared for what Dawson might be doing, so he gets away from the shot. But the next thing I'm going to say is, how prepared is Ward? Because if we talk about preparation and you advancing yourself as a fighter, the highest form of preparation is to make sure that you can counter what your opponent's doing. But in the midst of being able to prepare and counter your opponent, you have to get this information somehow, some way. So Ward is getting this information without getting knocked out, so that way next time he's more prepared based off the information he got, which is making Chad Dawson pay for trying to hit him.
Corner where his cut man, Rafael Garcia, is not only one of the best in the sport right now, but one of the best ever.
So this is going back in, and I say a lot of this stuff because I want to explain to you guys the formula for what I'm looking for. So that way, because I don't know everything and I can't see everything when we watch film, that way you can take that formula and apply it to how you watch film. So that way now you can pick up on things that I may be missing, right? That your friend may be missing, that your coach might be missing. So that way you guys can all help each other to get better, because that's your job as a fighter, to get better, make your coach better so he can make you better. It's just always a building block, right, from a foundation standpoint. So back to the idea of Andre Ward going from a high to a low to a high to look upstairs, like Chad Dawson's coach said. So we'll look at this again. Right there. Ward was high, then he looked low, he didn't throw anything. Another form of a feint. Uses that information because last time that he looked low, Chad Dawson didn't hit him back. So now when I look low, if you didn't hit me when I look low, that means that I can throw a punch now. So he throws a punch low. Then he's thinking about coming upstairs off of a low. Chad Dawson's a pro once again. His coach told him to look out for it. Not specifically this punch, maybe, but he did say if he looks low, he's looking to come high. Chad Dawson's somewhat prepared for it in the same way that we said Ward was prepared for his feints off of Chad.
Body shot there for Ward.
John Scully, Dawson's trainer.
Subtle footwork. Yeah, tongue tie. So it's understanding that what you do with your hands, what you do with your head, and what you do with your feet. You can use your feet from a footwork standpoint to completely get out the way of the punch, right? But when you use your footwork to do that and you're not able to punch back, the issue is you're not making your opponent pay for trying to punch you. So a lot of people are enamored with the fancy footwork, and the fancy footwork completely gets you out of the way. It looks nice. That's not all it does, but they only attribute people with good footwork to the Lomachenkos, the Pernell Whitakers, the people who made the footwork look like a dance and it was artistry to the footwork, right? And they deserve the credit, but so do guys who are subtle with their footwork, that use small little things to get information to be able to take advantage of their opponents when they're trying to hit them. So this is one of those subtle footwork things. Shuffling back after an engagement to exit so your opponent has to chase you to try to hit you. Pivoting and shuffling, or in this case, pivoting because it's a southpaw orthodox. So if you guys notice here, everything that's available for the southpaw is available for the orthodox fighter. So if you guys see a lot of southpaw fighters fight an orthodox fighter, what they do is pivot out weak side, which is over the orthodox fighter's left shoulder. But Ward is able to do this to Dawson as well, which is pivot out over his right shoulder, because Dawson has to pivot in order to find Ward again.
Scully, Dawson's trainer, said between the first and second rounds, eventually he's going to come to you. It's all going to fall in place like a puzzle. I think he wanted...
I need to speak on that as well, because we talk about Andre's feet, we talk about Andre's head, and we need to talk about his hands. I've talked about his hands as well, as far as how he's using it to control the line. But this is another thing that we want to focus on. I hope I can pause it the right time.
He's going to come to you. It's all going to fall in...
That right there. Film doesn't lie. You guys tell me, is his glove clenched or is it open? It's open. And so what that allows him to do is have more surface area and more control over Dawson's neck, which is his head, which means that Dawson can no longer just turn and throw a punch at Andre Ward right now. Chad Dawson is out of position right now. Ward does not have to worry about a punch because he's making sure that he's controlling with his hands Dawson's head.
Place like a puzzle. I think he wanted Larry Dawson to lay back a little bit more and let the fight come to him, but that may have changed it in Ward's favor.
No, I thought he was referring to that he would...
I don't care. what do the kids call it these days? Glazing. Andre Ward right now because I'm like, look at what Andre Ward's doing. Look at what Andre Ward's doing. I don't care. But let's remove his name. Let's just fighter A, fighter B. Fighter A, Andre Ward, gets away from 2 shots, which are jabs, because he's worried about the potential next shot. He is inside Chad Dawson's feet, so he has to move to the right to continue to get away from these shots. Watch where he puts his glove. I mean, Dawson hasn't thrown anything, but Andre Ward is assuming he's going to throw something because this is the next shot that Dawson can throw based off of those shots. And it's potentially a looping left hand. So Andre Ward holds the phone to make sure he doesn't have to worry about that shot. But watch what happens next. Now he is getting away from the next shot from Chad Dawson. Now he's getting away from the next shot from Chad Dawson.
Referring to that, he would.
That's the idea of what you're doing when you go through this whole entire fight choreography and engagement. You're always thinking about what's the next punch. Or when you get really good, what's the next couple of punches? What's the next 3 punches? What's the next engagement before it happens? Because you control the ring, and everything that happens in the ring is based off of what you do and what your opponent is doing in accordance to what you're doing. So, call me like the Andre Ward Glazer or whatever. I don't care. Fighter A.
You have a better chance of figuring out Ward than Ward would have figuring out him.
Is boxing a sport? Can you play it? That ref who just broke this up
Have a better chance of figuring out.
was the mediator for the controlled game that they're playing right now. And he says, hey, this is not within the rules. Stop it. If boxing wasn't a sport, would you be able to do that? Can they do this in street fights?
Out Ward than Ward would have figuring out him. And that's what he was.
I think so, but one of the ways I think he wants Dawson to do it is to allow.
Let's count the time. At the time of this break, it is 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock of round 3.
Better chance of figuring out Ward than Ward would have figuring out him. And that's what he was.
I think so, but one of the ways I think he wants Dawson to do it is to allow.
15 seconds have gone by. No punches have been thrown. If you're winning the round, is 15 seconds a long time? You amateurs, you guys fight 2 minutes, 3 rounds. It's not a lot of time. So technically, for you amateurs, this is round 3. This is the last round for you, right? You've been down 2 rounds. You fight nationally, so it's open scoring. You see that you're down 2 rounds to 0. You're going into the 3rd round. There's 15 seconds that's gone by. The only way that you win this fight is if you've accumulated standing 8 counts before, or if you knock this guy out. Is 15 seconds a long time for you guys? It is. There's no debating that. So, as a fighter who's winning, do you see how important it is for you to be able to stall and control the clock to make sure that the main reason why you got into the ring in the first place is to win is happening? So, could this be something that you can get better at? Could this be something that you can get better at so you can understand when your opponent's trying to do it to you, what you would do to make sure that they're not doing it?
Ward to come at him. He said something to that effect in the corner.
Good little left hand as they turn each other.
Even those little things too. If you've ever been hit in the back of the head, whether it was something that was going to knock you out or not, it can be annoying. It can be annoying, and it can distract you from what your main goal is, which is trying to win the fight. So if you ever see people get punched in the back of the head, they sometimes look at the ref like, "Hey, get him off me." That could be a form of a distraction because you're not focusing on the task at hand. And it seems like to me, I told you guys this film study was about to be spicy from an action standpoint, and I think I'm doing way more talking and pausing than I've done in other film studies or the first 2 rounds.
By Chad Dawson. We're going to go into Andre Ward's corner for a moment and listen to his trainer, Virgil Hunter, as he barks instructions to his man.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
I mean, that's allowed in a street fight, right? Y'all been in a street fight? Tough guys? No? Tough girls? Y'all been in a street fight? Is somebody gonna break you guys up after that? You do that to somebody? Put them a little noogie and hit them? Alright, is boxing a sport?
Keep feigning. Be frustrated.
Perfect. I'm not going to act like I get the credit for what I've been explaining to you the whole time because I've watched this fight before, and I'm a huge fan of Virgil Hunter. Not in fan in the sense that he's above God and I'm glazing, but in the sense that we can learn from something that's happened before us. So what did Virgil Hunter say? I don't know if the sound is attached to the video or not, so I'll repeat it for you. This is when he says it.
Keep feigning. Be frustrated.
Keep fainting. He's frustrated. Frustration causes you to not focus at focus on the task at hand. So if his coach is telling him this, or his trainer, as they listed here, but his coach, if his coach is telling him this, this is something that's either was prepared for in the game plan or something that they've established and seen in the first 2 rounds that is happening, or in the beginning of this 3rd round.
No, no, no punch. Stop, stop. Stop, 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 stop.
Ward has got a little
Look at them breaking up the fight. That's not a sport.
Hopkins in him.
Yep. Do what it takes.
Well, in response to questions about that coming into the fight, Chad Dawson said, I don't think Ward's a dirty fighter, but I do think he holds. And I'm hoping that the referee will break us when he does. So far, Steve...
There it is. And why did that happen? The film will tell us, and I'm going to say it too. But I'm going to say it based off of using the film to give this information, so you guys don't think it's just me. You guys don't have to keep coming to me for information. I'm trying to teach you how to find the information on your own. So hopefully you come to me because I want to know more. Because I'm going to continue to be better at breaking down this film. But this happened earlier. The only difference was the punch selection and the range of how Ward did this wasn't there. But the reason why he can get back to it is because Dawson never did what his coach asked him to do in the 1st round. Not in the same particular situation, but the overall theory of it, or the umbrella statement is, which is make him pay for being there. Make him not want to be there. Chad never made Andre not want to be in the position that he was when he set up this first shot. So it allowed Ward to find out the punch he needed to have this happen. And we'll go back and watch this. And you guys can also watch it from round 1 and round 2 because Andre's been asking the same question.
He holds. And I'm hoping that the referee said, I don't think Ward's a dirty fighter. Response to questions about that coming into the fight,
I may have
Chad
gone back
Dawson
too far.
said,
We'll
I don't
find
think
out.
Ward's a dirty
We
fighter,
don't find it.
but I do think he holds. And I'm hoping that the referee will break us when he does. So far,
Oops, I went back. I didn't go back far enough. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Actually, let's show the most similar one first, and then we'll break down the less similar one so you understand that it's the same thing.
Do what it takes.
Is that the similar shot that knocked Chad out? Not out, but dropped Chad. Let's watch it again.
Yep. Do what it takes.
Low, high with the right hand, left cross or left hook, right? Is that similar? The film doesn't lie. You tell me, right? Once you have your answers, now we'll go back to this one. Is that not the same thing? So we break this down. I'm gonna pause it. Jab. You go low, which is similar to the right hand to the body, because the right hand to the body, you have to be low. You come up, similar to the left hook that was thrown, but you ask if you can get it away first before you throw it, but these are similar positions. What Andre Ward realized is, if I shoot to the body, Chad Dawson is going to throw that lead hook, his right hand, like he did in rounds 1 and 2 from the beginning, right? When I come back up, Chad isn't going to throw anything. And if he's not throwing anything, that means I can eliminate the risk of getting punched as I'm throwing something, which is my most vulnerable position. So I take that information, paired with the information that I've been getting from rounds 1 and 2, and also these engagements as well. I've been able to confirm with my coach to make sure that this is correct information, and I can also pair it with maybe the potential game plan that I've been working on for 6 to 8 weeks to prepare for this fight, because I knew I was going to fight Chad Dawson. And now,
Well, in response to question,
I make him forget, and this is my tidbit here, I make him forget that I just got this information, so that way maybe later on I can go back to it. And that maybe later on can happen anytime after round 3, anytime after this engagement happened. Could happen 5 seconds, could happen 10 seconds, could happen 20 seconds, could happen around 2 rounds from now, 1 round from now. It's up to you. It's your choice, because you earned that information with the questions that you asked.
about that coming into the fight, Chad Dawson said, I don't think Ward's a dirty fighter, but I do think he holds. And I'm hoping that the referee will break us when he does. So far,
Andre Ward just decided to do it 10 seconds later. Because I'm an Andre Ward glazer, as we realized in this film study. Just kidding. He's a pro. He's been doing this forever. Extensive amateur background. Undefeated pro record. So he has these reps in the tank. He's had the same coach. They on the same page. So his reads and the information that he gets is going to be faster than us. But that doesn't mean they're not the same reads. So the way that you make the reads faster is you get the reps of actually applying the reads.
He's focused. He's very focused on quick left hook inside by Andre Ward.
So he got this information. If we're talking about the actual time of the fight that's been going on, this is round 3. There's 3 minutes in round 1, or 3 minutes in all the rounds, as if they go all the way through to continuance. 3 minutes in round 1, 3 minutes in round 2. That's 6 minutes. We're at minute 40 of round 3. So 8 minutes and 20 seconds, he has got this information to now go ahead and create a 10-8 round for him and potentially end the fight.
He goes to the canvas, and Smoker will count. And Ward has a scorecard advantage early on with a knockdown.
Have you ever been in a street fight or a club fight, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and is like, yo, she needs to be able to get up. It needs to be a fair fight. You just knocked him down, bro. Let him get back up so he can go ahead and be fair again. Is boxing a sport?
In the third round, it looked like a body shot, Jim.
No, I thought it was a quick.
Untrained eye, Larry Merchant, God rest his soul, right? Untrained eye. And Larry Merchant has watched way more fights, commentated more fights than most of us, right? And what did he think the shot was? He said he thought it was a body shot. So now, back to you guys improving as far as you're getting better. If you're an amateur fighter and you have judges all around, you have 5 judges all around, or you have 3 judges all around because you're fighting locally and regionally, right? And not nationally. So you have 3 judges, right? Or you're sparring and somebody, your family is watching the fight, one person. If Larry Merchant is thinking that this drop was a body shot when it really wasn't, what do you think your family's seeing? What do you think the volunteer judge for USA Boxing, amateur fighting is seeing? What do you think the good judge from a professional standpoint is seeing? So it's your job to make sure that you don't get hit, and it also doesn't appear like you're getting hit.
Quick left hook upstairs.
All right, okay. It was a quick counter left hook inside.
Went back to the same shot.
No, I thought it was a quick left hook upstairs.
All right, okay. It was.
is that the same shot? Or I'll say similar. I'm not going to say same because you can change your arm angle a little bit. Max Kellerman called it a hook. Realistically, this is more of a cross, right? But it doesn't matter. Punches names were made to be able to pass down on learning to other people. But your arm is supposed to complete the task, which is punch somebody in the face. And Andre Ward's using his left hand to do it.
Quick counter left hook inside. It was perfect. And Dawson's right knee went to the canvas.
Same shot, trying to do it again.
And Dawson was shook up by that punch. That wasn't just a balance shot.
It's a big
Same shot, trying to do it again.
It's the Ward as he gets in another quick left hook.
Same shot, trying to do it again.
Dawson's trying to come back.
So before fighting, Andre.
So that is round 3. I told you it would get spicy. It was kind of long. But that's round 3. Down line talking as is. I'll see y'all in the next one.